Night cloaks the isle. Two Carnotaurus stand frozen in the dark, boxed in by a small pack of Omniraptors. At full size, these herbivores weigh around 1.3 tons, far too heavy for a single raptor to challenge. But tonight, it isn't a single raptor. The pack changes everything. Omniraptors might barely reach a third of a Carnotaurus's mass, but they make up for it with speed, balance, and relentless teamwork. The Dino's bolt. With modern night vision, we can finally track the hunt, as if daylight were on their side. The raptors weave between the larger bodies, darting for head strikes while dodging the Dino's brutal kicks and sweeping tails. Panic takes over the herbivores. Their attacks swing wide, too slow to connect. They retreat toward a fallen tree, trying to force a barrier between them and the pack. But elevation won't save them. Raptors don't need to stay on the ground. These predators have one of the most dangerous tools in the ecosystem, the pounce. Once they land on a victim's back, their sickle claws rip deep, turning every second into heavy bleeding. The raptors bite and claw, hanging on while avoiding a single fatal buck that could send them flying. They don't rush. They just wear their prey down, trading places when one gets tired, keeping pressure on the Dinos without pause. One Carnotaurus falls. The end is near. The raptors converge on the final opponent, certain now that victory will be theirs. One raptor pounces, one bites. It's all over. Another successful hunt. With their bellies full, priorities shift. As intelligent as these animals are, they have two main purposes in life. Since the first was just fulfilled, they move on to the next. Dawn breaks on the isle. Through death brings new life. Our raptor family is expanding. Nestled in the river Delta Cave, we watch them feed their young. But more mouths mean more danger. Soon, they will have no choice but to leave and hunt again. Delta is never quiet. Many species pass through because of the safer river crossing. but the river itself belongs to one of the isle's apex predators, Dinosaur. At 8 tons and over 35 feet, these crocodilians dominate the waterways. Raptors know better than to test them. A lone juvenile Carnotaurus grazes near the shore. The Dinosaur barely reacts. It isn't worth the effort. The raptors emerge from their cave and head for the bridge, hungry and searching. The juvenile is exactly what they need. They strike quickly, but the presence of the crocodile complicates everything. One wrong step near the shoreline, and the predator could snatch a raptor in an instant. Every bite must be perfectly timed. Then the balance shifts again. 2 more Dinosaurs slide quietly into view. They approach the first croc with calculated precision. Territory disputes between these giants are violent and unforgiving. The river explodes into chaos. Crocs crash into each other, jaws snapping, water churning. With the apexes distracted, the raptors seize their chance. They focus entirely on the young Carnotaurus. One pounces, another bites, and the juvenile is pinned. Its cries echo for only a moment before the pack finishes what it started. Finally, a meal. The raptors strip the carcass and reserve the nutrient-rich organs for their young. Meanwhile, the crocodile fight resolves. One titan remains, battered but victorious. Even he hesitates near the raptors. Injured and vulnerable, he retrieves the food he won and retreats back into the depths. Even an apex predator knows when the risk outweighs the reward. The disturbance in the clearing carries far across the delta. A Carnotaurus. At around 1.3 tons, it's not the biggest carnivore on the isle, but everything about its body is engineered for brute force. A skull reinforced like a hammer, neck muscles layered thick enough to drive that skull like a weapon, and legs powerful, dense, muscular pillars that can turn its entire weight into a devastating forward charge. Outside the Delta Cave, two stray Omniraptors cross its path, weaving across its blind spots. Their agility is unmatched, but agility only matters if you're not hit. The Carnotaurus lunges with terrifying speed for its size. Its heavy legs dig into the earth, kicking up soil as it drives its head forward like a living battering ram. The fight ends almost as soon as it began. Inside the cave, the main pack remains unaware. They're deep in the back chambers, surrounded by warm stone, the air thick with the lingering scent of the Carnotaurus carcass. Bleeding heavily from the short but explosive fight, the Carnotaurus follows instinct. He moves toward the nearest source of cool mud, steadying himself with each heavy, thundering stride. He steps directly into the Delta Cave. He doesn't know this cave is the cradle of our Omniraptor pack. He doesn't know that by entering, he's stepped into the worst possible place to be wounded. One raptor launches onto the Carno's back in a blur of talons, gripping deep into the ridge along his spine. Its claws sink into thick hide, ripping downward, tearing muscle as the Carnotaurus staggers. Blood spills across the mud. Disoriented and losing strength fast, he tries to back toward the entrance. It is now up to the matriarch to step up. She's the same raptor who dropped the Dinos last night and pinned the juvenile this morning. This is her ground and her family, and she's not letting a bleeding Carno limp out alive. She hits him hard, clinging from flank to spine until he stumbles. That moment is all the pack needs. No escape now. The hunter becomes the hunted. When it's done, the family eats. They drag themselves back to the cave, spent, bloodied and victorious. A brutal day finally over. As the sun drops, the pack moves on. What happens next? You'll see soon enough. If you enjoyed the hunt, hit like and subscribe. I stream these runs often, and my Twitch username's in the bio. Thank you. If you want to see some behind-the-scenes footage taken in this video, check out my YouTube shorts.